What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Day1Radio right here on Livehiphopdaily. As usual, I am Maurice Garland, and I'm always joined by my partner in crime, Brandon Peters. What's going on with you, man?
What's happening, bruh? Good to be back in the virtual building, man. This week, we continuing the West Coast streak, man. Last week, we had Blast on. Great interview. Go back in the archives and check it out if you have not. And this week, we got one of my guys, man, one of the coolest guys I know. And also one of the dopest MCs and shit. In 2020, one of the most prolific MCs, you know, straight out of Inglewood, California, King Thurz. What's up, brother?
Hey, chilling, bro. Thanks for the grand intro, man. Appreciate that.
Exactly. You can tell Thurz is some kind of cool. He got the Union LA Jordan gear on that niggas was like, man, that shit sold out in 3 minutes.
I've seen him in a few days. We ain't had that conversation yet about I need that Union plug. I'll be peeping. I just wait to say something. But yeah, man. Now we on Union. We on LA, man. What's the vibe like, man? It's been a weird year for Los Angeles. You know, starting off the year with Kobe passing, and then Bron and AD bringing the chip to the city, and a month later, the Dodgers bringing the chip to the city, man. What's the vibe like out there?
Man, we definitely want to celebrate, man, but everybody doesn't get the opportunity to, or we haven't had the opportunity to just yet. But, it's definitely an interesting year. I feel like we have a lot of thriving artists out here. I'm glad that you mentioned Blast. It's like I feel like we've always had a scene out here, but it's definitely a light being shed onto LA in a really good way. So the fact that we win them championships, is really dope. I'm just mad that summer passed and I didn't get to throw no parties, or I didn't get to go to no events or anything. I haven't been to any live, events to see anybody rock. So it's like pros and cons, more cons than pros, I guess. But it's definitely always good to be, from the city and, rep the city. So yeah, I'm like in limbo, really.
Got you. Now let's get into the music, man. You've been since the top of the year dropping a different record every Thursday. Makes sense. Your name is Thurzday. Thurz on Thursdays, man. What was the at the top of the year? Did you plan on dropping every week, or was it the people's reactions that made you keep doing it? Like, what was the strategy behind this?
Man, so for like the past 3 years, I've just been in like the studio, day in and day out. Like before I took on that artist relations role, I was just doing a lot of writing and recording and just kind of compiling music on a hard drive that I didn't know if it was ever going to see the light of day. So I called up my boy Dem Joints just to wish him a happy new year. And then he kind of pressed my line. He was like, yo, tomorrow's Thursday, right? You gonna drop a new record, right? You gonna start doing that thing, right? And I was like, it kind of makes sense. Let me try it out. And, a few nights before New Year's, I recorded a new record named Smile, produced by the homie Johnny Storm Beats, featuring the homeboy Fat Ron. And I was like, you know what? Shit, let me whip up some artwork. Let me upload it, for all the DSPs, throw it out, see what happens. So, the response was really welcoming. And I just kind of continued after that. I followed up with another record produced by Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm kind of gave me my first batch of new records before I even had to go into my hard drive. And then I started releasing records that I already recorded prior to 2020 up to like March. And then I was like, you know what? A lot of stuff is happening in the world. I want to stay a little bit more present. So I just started building up a system. I'd go in on Sunday nights, record a record, send it to my boy to whip up some artwork. I'd get a mix that night. I'd upload it, on Monday in the evening after approving like the mix and, just seeing if I needed to tweak anything, making adjustments to artwork. On Tuesdays, I started linking up with my boy Andrew Quesada, and we just started doing these 1-minute visuals to the record. So we started, creating all these assets around the songs and started making it like a campaign, a weekly campaign, a real weekly campaign, not just songs. We're giving you visuals, giving you commentary as to why I recorded this record, what was the inspiration. And it just helps me stay in the moment. It helps me stay current on a week-to-week basis. So I've been having fun, especially with Andrew Casada and my homegirl Mizza. She's been doing all my photography with the film, and the homegirl Serenity Reynoso. She's been helping out on the artwork. So, I got a little like team now. So we just been having fun on a week-to-week basis and just throwing records out. Some get playlisted, some resonate with other different crowds, some pick up in different countries. And it's just crazy to see the fluctuation and, the highlights of who's receiving which record, and how they're receiving it, who's posting online and putting it on their stories. So it's just dope to constantly have, that content out and people are digesting it and hitting me up.
You know what? That's awesome, man. Because I mean, to be producing stuff of that quality that frequently, I have to assume that, life has to be pretty good for you. Like, that you must be in a good space if you're like finding inspiration to produce something like that every week on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's inspiration comes from everywhere, man. I remember there was one time when I thought I had like writer's block, and I was like, man, I ain't got no damn writer's block. Let me just have a conversation with somebody. And inspiration is everywhere, especially in these conversations that I have with like my cousins. Inspiration comes from conversations with my kids. My cousin out in Sacramento, he's a freshman in college. So we always talking about certain things that are happening and what he gravitates to. We just constant conversations keep me inspired. Current events keep me inspired. Just always trying to seek out some type of information and, regurgitate it in my own way on over a dope beat. Keeps me inspired. The production quality keeps me inspired. Some people are giving me their best work, and I'm like, damn, I can't fumble this. Let me just kind of like put some ideas down. Let me build off of this melody. I have this idea from what I just conversed about with this homeboy over here. So, it just comes. I don't like I don't plan anything out when I go in on the creative side of things. I just kind of let it flow, and I just absorb as much information that I can, download everything that I can, and, whatever comes out on the beat, it's just coming from a organic place.
No, that's dope. One of the things that I thought it was really cool, and you did it, I would think you did it for the people who grew up in the era of reading liner notes, is that you actually drop the written out lyrics to the song, which is ill. That like takes us back a little bit. I wish DSPs would put the lyrics up.
Yeah.
Their systems for real.
Apple Music does though. Apple Music puts the lyrics
I'm a Spotify and a Tidal guy, so I didn't know Apple Music did. I'm not gonna spend another $10 a month.
They say, I don't want no music bill.
Yeah, I'll just go to Genius.
I feel that. But yeah, man, like what's crazy, I didn't want to like write out the lyrics. My boy Andrew was like, yo, man, we should like write up the lyrics. Cause like, I'll sometimes put notes in my phone. It won't actually be all the lyrics. And I sometimes will like, come up with ideas while I'm in the booth, or kind of like freestyle like some of the stanzas or some of the phrases. And I don't write everything down. I just kind of write down some of the core ideas. So this kind of put me in the practice of having to write everything out and, trying to spell check everything, or at least make sure I got all the words. Sometimes I miss, sometimes I'm just that, forgetful guy. But yeah, it does take me back to that nostalgia of opening up the tape deck or the CD deck, like the Fuji score, and reading all the lyrics and all the thank yous and all that. So that's dope that, it's dope that you mentioned that.
For sure. When you were taking a hiatus from releasing music, not actually a hiatus from, recording at all, did you ever envision in your mind that you would be dropping at this pace at any point in your career?
Nah, never, dude. Cause like I used to get in my way. Like I never thought I would be releasing music like this. Cause I'm like, after coming from like the Aftermath camp, like I thought I was gonna be like on that perfectionism, because it's so much that goes into perfecting a record, the enunciation of every word, the character of every word. But like, I guess the repetition kind of put me in a space where, I'm loving it, how I'm delivering it, and I'm living with it. And I don't get a chance to like just sit on it too long. It's like, all right, I'm gonna just do it and throw it out. So yeah, I didn't think I was gonna be releasing at this pace because I'm always thinking of new stuff to add to records. I'm thinking of like rewriting verses, rewriting hooks. So this puts me in that place where I just gotta live with what I put out now, and let the people decide what's hot or not. But I actually been loving every record.
Like when you have fans, asking you, hey, rather expecting something every week, do you take that as flattery or low-key ungratefulness? Because it's like, God damn, bro, like I just gave you something. Why are you asking me for more? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you even listen to the whole thing I did last time?
Right. I'll take it as flattery because, I am taking it upon myself to deliver something every week. So, the fact that people are looking out for it, I appreciate that because they don't got to pay attention to me. There's so much shit out here. It's like 60,000 songs that get released a day, between 30 and 60,000. So, if anybody want to take the time to tune into what I'm doing, I appreciate it, and they could always go back and catch up if they haven't. It's over 50 songs now. So, we in week 47.
Yeah. And some of the weeks you release 2 songs, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's super dope.
Yeah.
I've noticed like you use like a ton of different flows, cadences, voice inflections. Sometimes your voice sounds completely different on one song than it does on another. How is it the track that influences that, or how do you choose how you're gonna attack it?
Man, it's really just all feeling. Like kind of just adding that color to every word. Just like, trying to make sure that people can see it and hear it. That's kind of how I go with each phrase. Like if I lay it down, I want to make sure I feel it and I can see it. So I'm imagining the listener, I want them to experience it how I experience it. So, those different inflections, that just comes from just trying stuff out, experimenting and seeing if I can add that character or that color to the phrase to help it resonate and help them remember or even comprehend what I'm saying in a different manner. Because like, just having that normal flow every time, people might not even resonate or just kind of like comprehend what I'm trying to get across. So those different inflections just help, put an exclamation point on an idea. So it's all just coloring, man. These raps are like coloring books now.
So let's take November 3rd.
Yeah.
Now you pretty much like went from fucking Bone Thug speed to regular, you know what I mean? Your regular flow on that joint. What were the colors you saw in that, and how did you, especially with such a serious topic, you also brought an entertainment factor to it?
Yeah, man. Well, the song happened because everybody that I was conversing with, at least like my immediate circle, we all kind of felt the way. It was like, damn, you know, we don't want to not vote. We don't feel like any of these people really represent us, or none of these people have really represented, where we come from. So we just all had this similar outlook on what the elections were, and nobody had confidence in any of these candidates. So I just wanted to put that on record. And my boy Imani sent me this beat like 2 months ago, actually, because he did the beat for the record No Mo and the record Black Star. Mm-hmm. So he has a really good range of what he can deliver on the production side. So I listened to this the first time when he sent it, and then I went back, the past what was that, last week when I dropped it? Yeah, I dropped that last week, right? It's November 3rd. Yeah. So I went back to the batch that he sent me, and like 4 of the beats caught my ear because I had a fresh ear on the batch. And then that one came up, and I was like, damn, I love this change up. And when I first heard the first half of the beat, or the first 40, 50 seconds of that beat, I just heard that flow, that kind of like that up-tempo cadence, that like machine gun kind of flow on there. And I just wanted to jam pack it with ideas from the conversations that I was having. So I wanted to get as much across and as much clarity as I could.
Mm.
So, the only way to get it was just to like double time the flow, and then with the switch up, kind of still get those ideas off, and then just kind of ease into the normal pace, and then still get more ideas off from the conversations that I was having.
That's some real MC shit right there. Cause like, so many times when you think of cats that rap fast, you really just like, oh, he just rapping fast. But I think that's maybe the first time I've heard somebody break it down. Like, no, I'm rapping fast because I want to fit a lot of ideas in that one part. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still wanted to, I didn't want to just be sloppy with it. I wanted to just kind of be right on top of the beat and, just kind of filling it in every pocket that I could on that first half. And, then when the beat kind of slows down, then I just kind of got into more of a smooth, rhyming pattern.
For sure. So you mentioned earlier your work with Aftermath, and if people have been paying attention, like you've done some stuff with Anderson .Paak, wrote on a few different things and whatnot, man. How did you first start working with Dre and working with Aftermath?
Man, I was at Red Bull Studios. It's crazy. And I had my boy J Pounds. We were in Santa Monica, and we were like mixing down a project. There's J Pounds and THX. THX was engineering and mixing and producing and doing everything. Wearing multiple hats for this project. And the last records we were mixing down were these J Pounds records. So we were in there, putting the finishing touches on them. And at that time, and still currently, Pounds is signed as a producer over at Aftermath. So at that time, Taheem was like the head A&R over there. And we ended our session. Pounds went straight to record one, and I went to the crib. And then about an hour later, Pounds hits me up like, yo, I got a request for you to come up to record one. And I was like, for real? He's like, Ty wants you to come up here. I want to see what you're working on. So I was like, for sure. Ty jumped on the phone. I was like, yeah, man, I want you to come up here, man, just catch a vibe and all that. So, I get ready, to try to get up there. Then my son is playing with some Legos, and he's not chewing on a Lego, but trying to like take apart these two Legos. And he takes it apart, and one of the Legos goes to the back of his throat. And he starts choking on the damn Lego. So like, I have him over to sing. I'm trying to get the Lego out. I get it out. But, the lady is panicking. She called 911 and all that. So I thought I wasn't even going to make it to the studio. And I had told her about the situation. But, we made sure he was cool. The paramedics got there just to, like, check on his vital signs and all that and make sure he didn't lose too much oxygen. But that was, like, a crazy moment, And he was choking on his Lego. So I was ready just to chill and make sure he was good. And she was like, you know what? He's good. I got it. Go to the studio. You might, something might happen for you. I get to the studio at like 9 something. Taheem greets me, gives me the tour of record one. I check out Studio A and Studio B. I meet Mel Beats, and I go and chill in Studio A, and Mel is just playing like more beats. Taheem leaves the room, comes back in. He's like, yo, have you met Dre? I was like, nah, I haven't, but I'd love to. It'd be an honor. He's like, well, sure, he wants to meet you, man. He's posted. Posted in the other room. So I go to like the little lounge area, and Dre's sitting right there. When I walk in, he's like, Thurz. I'm like, Dre. And then, he's telling me that he's heard a lot of good things about me, and that he's just looking to compile or assemble a group of creatives because he has the itch to get back into music and, start recording on a normal basis. So we sit down and just kind of talk about his process on creating, and I talk about my process and a little bit of my history. And he starts playing some beats, in the lounge. And he's like, yo, you trying to work tonight? I was like, fuck yeah, I'm trying to work tonight. What you mean? And so I picked one of the beats. It was from Mel, and the beat was called Sangria. So we take Sangria to Studio A, and we just start laying vocals down. I kind of just go in and like freestyle a verse. And then me and him are working on this chorus idea. And we complete a song that night. And that was like on my first time working with Dre. And that got me in the room. That got me in the door. So I was just like a regular at that time. So, that was a huge blessing there. So shout out to Dre for, letting me work and learning a lot from his process, man. It's a huge blessing.
How crazy was it for you that he knew who you were?
That was super crazy. I don't know to what extent he knew who I was, but the fact that he, mentioned my name, that he actually was naming people that I knew, that we both knew, I thought that was kind of mind-boggling. I was like, damn, I guess all this hard work wasn't for nothing. I guess I'm doing something right. Because
Sure.
I was at a weird time, in my career, just trying to create. I wasn't really releasing music too frequently, but it was dope. It was dope that the hard work didn't go unnoticed.
For sure. Being an LA native, man, not even from a music perspective or artist perspective, but what did it mean to you from being from LA and being a hip hop fan to be able to create with somebody who is really responsible for a large majority of the shit that's come out of that region?
Man, that's like playing for the Lakers, man. So like
Yeah.
work with Dr. J is like playing for the Lakers, man. Like, Lakers are synonymous with Los Angeles. So is Dr. J and Snoop Dogg. So like, to be in that same room, you kind of like knowing that you have to bring your A game. And when you go in that room, it's some of the most incredible artists on the planet, man. Like it's people that could play every instrument and make those instruments talk. It's people that can like sing and rap people under the table, like literally sing better than Mariah Carey or better than your favorite singer, and then go rap a verse as good as Black Thought. It's like some powerful people in there, man. So it's definitely an environment that brings the best out of you. So to be in that room, with the conductor Dre, you in there for a reason, and it's a opportunity to make the most of.
For sure. For sure. Outside of being an MC, a lot of people know you from throwing dope events. You know what I mean? Most notably, Party in My Living Room, man. What are your thoughts? And we kind of spoke on this at the top of the interview. What are your thoughts on just like how the climate for gathering strangers in a room together to have a good time? What are your thoughts on that? Like what it's gonna look like, what it does look like, not just in LA, but period, because you've done stuff in several different areas.
Man, it sucks that we can't get together like how we should, because I've been itching to throw another party in my living room for a while. The last one I threw in LA was like 2017, and people are still hitting me up about doing another one. And the last one was like 2017, and then the last one I did was like in Chicago in I think 2018 for like Lollapalooza.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people are still hitting me up about it, and it sucks that we can't get together. And the whole reason for Party in My Living Room was to get outside of the normal traditional venues that are all like non-Black owned, and like throw something in the city. Throw something that felt like high school. Cause like in high school, the house parties where everything was at. We couldn't get to the club. We couldn't get in the club. We couldn't drink and do none of that. So to have that nostalgia with throwing an event inside of a house with production value and bringing out, a lot of like beautiful women from LA and bringing out some of the dopest artists, it was like an environment that everybody appreciated. So, I'm sad that I haven't been able to throw one. I feel like everybody would appreciate it, especially at this point in 2020. So hopefully in 2021, I know they're trying to put us on lockdown again, but hopefully it ain't too long, and hopefully we could all get together and have some fun again.
For sure, absolutely. You don't just do music and throw dope events. You also are very community minded, very much about your people, which is one of the things I respect about you for sure, man. Talk a little bit about some of the work that you're doing out in LA, just to make things better for the people out there.
Man, right now I'm just supporting like the homies, like my homie Sticks. He has an organization called Think Watts, and he's doing some remarkable work for the city of Watts and for Los Angeles as a whole. And from providing meals, from providing financial literacy classes So like him and Miss Rogers does a great job. She takes a lot of supplies, food and clothing to people who are on Skid Row, to families who don't have the financial means to provide for themselves. You know, I just help her. Sometimes I go out and just volunteer. Sometimes I help just bring, collect some of the items to distribute. Um, but mainly supporting those people who are in those positions and running those organizations. Outside of that, I've just thrown like organizations. I've thrown events for the city of Inglewood just for King Day Fest with my boy Quest. Um, Helping out with like the Lamert Park Juneteenth Festival. Shout out to Camille and Quest on that, and Six Sev and all the people over there in Lamert. But I just help out where I can, man, and just try to provide, experiences for people in the city, and on the charity side of things, just lend a helping hand, and looking to work with Sticks on doing like an Inglewood chapter of Think Watts, maybe Think Wood, and I know D Smoke is doing some good work as well. He has a dope non-profit that he's gonna launch. He has a scholarship fund, so I'm just trying to support all the homies and build stuff up that can affect the next generations
For sure.
in a positive way. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So you've been dropping all of these Lucy's, man. People are feeling it. It's been quite a while since you dropped an entire body of work. Any plans to put something together?
Yeah, I got some work, man. I got a lot of work, man. I'm just I'm trying to like figure out what Master P would do with all this tech shit, I'm trying to just think like that. So, the name of the game is distribution. And I'm just figuring out the ways to be an entrepreneur that, owns his own distribution channel, but figuring out how the best way to do that. I know we've kind of had some sidebars about it at her room, but, I'm just trying to get these ideas into beta form and, hit the people with that in 2021. And yeah, man, I want to deliver my next project through those means and just have, full autonomy and control over my product going straight to the consumer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, cause it's interesting you say that, because I mean, being that your history, as a part of U.N.I, like that was a group that was very prolific during the quote unquote blog era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that took a lot of entrepreneurship spirit in that to like get your stuff quote unquote distributed to the popping channels and websites and things. You know what I'm saying? So coming from that experience, like what do you think are some things that you think are maybe like applicable to this new situation that we're in, where it's like you're kind of doing the same thing with DSPs, even though those are different platforms, you know what I'm saying? But what are some things you think are applicable from those days to right now, being that you're like, hey man, I'm trying to figure out what will Master P do?
Yeah. So in those U.N.I days, man, we were on the cusp of like the MySpace boom and, YouTube booming. So like we took advantage of those platforms with content. We were shooting our own videos, off for like independent budget, but making it look like something Hype Williams shot or something that a major label act could have produced. So the playing ground is so leveled right now because of all the technology, because of all the social media. I know that. I mean, it's level theoretically. I know it takes a lot of promotion and a machine to really break through a lot of the noise and have like a record that could, really chart. But applying what I've learned from the U.N.I days is really the DIY approach and making the most use of the available technology. So we just got to look at what the users are using, what consumers are using, what apps are they really invested in. I know a lot of people are looking at this Clubhouse situation now. So it's just about taking the pros of everything and applying it to a musical sense, applying it to a musical business state of mind, and knowing how to take a product and, the best way to feed it to the consumer and give them something of value that's going to make them keep coming back and, make them tell their friend about it. So, it's there's a lot of things happening. I don't want to give away too much of what I'm working on personally, because you
Right.
know, intellectual property is very valuable. You know, ideas are actually currency. Ideas are always currency, and so is culture. So I just want to be able to take that currency and apply it the best way I can, and then share it with the community, and you know, just get people invested in what I'm doing. So when I get that beta, I'm gonna definitely have y'all try it out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, brother, we appreciate your time, and we're gonna drop this on Thursday. So if you want to plug the next record, you can go right ahead and do so.
Hey, okay. I got this Chewstick record, so I didn't get to speak about this too much, but me and my boy Bless Escrow, we got a crew with my boy C Watts, and we call ourselves Chewstick. So we dropped like 3 records this year. This is gonna be the next one, called Dollaz. So, you know, it's dropping this Thursday the 19th. So look out for that. Shout out to Escrow and C Watts. And next week I got some more stuff for y'all. I'm just kind of putting it all together, man. So yeah, man, y'all got the I might have to send y'all this record right now, man, so y'all can play it.
Hey man, why not, man? Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey man,
Sure.
that's super awesome, bro. We appreciate you, man. Please let people know where they can find you and where they can support.
Yeah. Hit me on Instagram, King Thurz, Thurz. I'm on Twitter, Thurzday, Thurzday. Clubhouse, Thurz. Where else I'm at? Facebook is kind of weak. I don't like Facebook too much. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. The websites will be up soon. Or yeah, we'll get back to all that. Just kind of hit me on Instagram. That's where I'm at most of the time. And oh yeah, the search more Thurz on Thursdays. Those are the playlists that are on Tidal. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on SoundCloud and YouTube. So it's the More Thurz on Thursday playlist. So everybody tap in with that and catch up on all the records that have been dropping throughout the year.
For sure, brother. Appreciate you, man. Once again, make sure that you support this brother, support dope independent music, man. We appreciate y'all supporting us. And we appreciate, man, every time we drop an episode, you always comment on social. I appreciate that shit for real, to the heart.
Hey, man.
All the time, man. All the time.
It's quality content, man. It's quality content.
For sure. Quality got to support quality, man. You heard it.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you follow us on Day1Radio on all your social media. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review, and tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll see y'all next week with another dope show. Peace.
Peace.